Man, I gotta get me one of those thermoses. Hubie Halloween. Hubie Halloween is Adam Sandler's new movie on Netflix. It's about a dim-witted, idiotic guy who, of course, Adam Sandler plays. And I want to say before I get into this that back in 2019, all the way back in 2019, if you can remember that far back, Adam Sandler said that if he wasn't nominated for an Oscar for his performance in Uncut Gems, then he was going to come back and make the worst possible movie just to make everybody pay for the snub. Well, Adam wasn't nominated and he didn't win anything for Uncut Gems, even though it was an amazing performance on his part. And the next movie we get is Hubie Halloween. But let me just say, I don't think this is Adam Sandler's worst film. And let me say, furthermore, I think this is really good vintage Sandler. I think this is as good as some of his early work, the stuff we really loved him for. Mr. Deeds, Waterboy, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, all of those Sandler classics. This movie is a lot like those. And it's good. It's not like those in a way that makes you say, Sandler's still trying to hold on to the golden years. We saw that with things like Jack and Jill, Don't Mess with the Zohan. Sandler has had a few misses in his career, but this movie is not one of them. Speaking of some of his previous work, we actually see quite a few references to some of Adam's best films in this movie. It's pretty funny. The first 20 minutes of the film kind of set you up for what's going on in the movie, but you also get a lot of nods, a lot of winks to his former films, including a cameo by Ben Stiller, who's playing an orderly, which is a reference to the same orderly that he played in Happy Gilmore. And there are loads of other references to some of Sandler's previous movies early on in this film. And then a few others even throughout. Now also, before I get into this review, it's going to be a pretty short one, but let me just say, if you care about spoilers for Hubie Halloween, just go watch the movie and then come back, watch this video, leave in the comments, let me know what you thought about the movie, all that good stuff. But if you don't care about, I won't spoil the big ending, I won't give away the big ending to the movie or anything like that, but there are a few minor spoilers for the movie coming, so if that bothers you for an Adam Sandler movie, goofy comedy, then, go watch the movie and then come back. Now, Hubie Halloween. This movie it's really funny. And it's funny in such a classic Sandler way. I could give you a lot of for instances from the movie. One of my favorite bits is that anytime Hubie is riding his bike or he's running, random objects are just thrown at him. Early in the film, it sets it up that children are throwing like eggs and things like that at him because he's a nerd and he's easy to pick on. But later throughout the film, as it goes, the things thrown at him are more and more ridiculous. And I remember the first one that caught me off guard. He was riding his bike through the streets, and all of a sudden a few objects whiz by his head. One is like a football. I can't remember what the other one is. But then the third is just a whole watermelon. And you just see it splatter on the street behind him. I don't know. It just caught me off guard. I thought it was funny. Listen, if you don't like Adam Sandler, don't watch this movie. Because it's an Adam Sandler movie. It's such a good Adam Sandler movie. If you are one of those people who just love to hate on Sandler and you're like, Sandler's still trying to recapture the glory days of his acting career. He's not on SNL anymore. It's not the same Sandler. Blah, blah, blah. If that's you, then don't watch the movie. Just don't watch it, okay? Because frankly, Adam Sandler is beyond your critique. He has transcended your critique. Adam Sandler is a comic genius. He will go down in the history books as one of the funniest men ever put to television or movies, and I'm sorry if you disagree, you're just wrong. Sandler's filmography is really good, and if you think all he can do is stupid comedy movies, then you haven't been paying attention. You haven't seen his Uncut Gems. You haven't seen his movies where he really gives it his all as an actor. And they are out there. If you just search for them, I highly recommend Uncut Gems if you want to give it a shot. Be warned, it's definitely not a movie for kids. There's a lot of cussing. It's a very high anxiety film, but man, I enjoyed it. But anyway, Sandler has given us so much, and to act like all he can do is the goofy movies is ridiculous. But man, is this a goofy movie, and I loved every second of it. This movie has so many laughs. It's got so many of the classic Sandler friends who show up in all of his movies. Though I will say it's missing Spade and Chris Rock noticeably. But you've got Kevin James, you've got Rob Schneider, you've got Shaquille O'Neal, and a pretty good cast of younger actors too. Oh, and Ray Liotta, who does a great job. He's Ray Liotta. I did enjoy one bit where it keeps showing a man in a mask who has this long blonde hair, and it's clearly setting you up. The whole movie I was going, here's David Spade, take off the mask. Oh, here's David Spade again. I can't wait for David Spade to get more involved. And then he pulls off the mask and it's Rob Schneider in a blonde wig. I thought that was hilarious because it was so obviously setting you up to think that Spade was in the film, and then Spade's not there and it's Schneider in a blonde wig. It's hilarious. It's really funny. Look, Sandler is incredibly goofy in this movie. There are a lot of great jokes, a lot of things that land really well in this film. It was such a good time. When it comes to rating this film, I don't even know how to do it, because if I just rate it as a comedy, it almost seems like a disservice to Sandler. This was more than just a film. This was a love note to all the great comedies that Sandler has made in the past. It's a salute to a lot of the things that he's done. It's an elbow to the rib cage of a lot of comedies that are made today. And it's a little bit of a gut punch to how people act these days. Of course, Sandler does that a lot. He takes a shot at the way people behave with technological advances and, the very self-absorbed culture that we have. But anyway, I told you it wasn't going to be a long review. Look, the bottom line is Hubie Halloween is a blast. It's a lot of fun. It's very funny. Look, again, if you don't like Sandler, stay away from it because you're just going to complain. But if you like Sandler, particularly if you like old Sandler, go watch the movie. I guarantee you're going to have a good time. I laughed out loud several times during the film. As a comedy movie, as a Sandler film, just as a movie in general, this movie is getting a solid 91 out of 100. All right, guys, thanks. I'm going to be trying to churn out a little extra content during the Halloween season. So throughout October, I'm going to try to do a little bit more than one per week. Though you may have some weeks that only get one, I'm going to at least try to drop videos a little more frequently than I have been throughout Halloween. There's a lot of movies I want to cover. There's at least one series I want to look at, and that'll probably be my next one. We're going to look at maybe a classic horror film or two. It's going to be a lot of fun, so stick around. More content coming your way. Have you seen Hubie Halloween? If so, go down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about it. If not, then go watch it. Give it a shot. It's a lot of fun, I promise. Did you agree with what I had to say about it? Did I leave something out that I should have mentioned? Look, it's a good movie, but I didn't want to give away all the laughs. The comedy movie, you need to go in fresh. That way you don't expect some of the laughs that are coming your way. But if I did miss something, let me know in the comments. And don't get mad. Remember, it's just one man's opinion. Thanks.